Welcome back to Ben Leo Tonight. Now, a former Scotland Yard detective, not Peter Bleksley, has become a victim of lawless Britain. His name is David McKelvey, and he once led a squad of officers fighting organised crime all across London. But he's now revealed he fought off a masked phone thief in the capital himself. Over 100,000 phones were stolen in London alone in the past year. That's one every 5 minutes. And Mr McKelvey says he's had enough of what he called modern-day highwaymen running the streets. Well, I'm joined now by David himself. David, good evening. Thank you for joining me. Pretty ironic, isn't it? You spend years and years literally chasing these phone thieves all across London, and then you're a victim yourself. Just tell us what happened, if you don't mind.
Yeah, I didn't fight him off. I didn't really have much chance, to be honest, Ben. I was walking down the street. I took a phone call, actually from a victim of crime. And literally, as I put the phone to my ear, I was on the pavement and this electric bike came up behind me. He grabbed the phone. Fortunately, I was quite aware and I held on to it. And then he was off down the pavement and onto the road and away. But he'd done one literally 5 minutes before, dressed all in black, electric bike. And as I say, they ride around almost, stealing from anything and anybody who's got a phone in their hands, effectively.
So how did you feel then, being a victim of crime, finally having chased these people for all these years? I mean, did it shock you? Were you left stunned? What were you thinking in the seconds after that happened?
It doesn't shock me, Ben, because we my local bobby, the company I run, we deal with phone thefts every single day. It's continuous. Members of the public coming up and reporting them to us. We then take them to the police station or report them to the police. And our bobbies are catching phone thieves literally 2 or 3 a week at the present time. So it doesn't shock me. It's literally lawless at times.
Who are they, do you reckon? Are they mostly kids, sort of young teenagers? What's the sort of profile of the phone thieves particularly?
Gangs. I mean, they're gang members. There's groups of them. We see them all the time. They're quite obvious. They're riding around the streets. They're all dressed in black. They've got masks on. They're on electric bikes. They stand out like a sore thumb. The reality is they should be stopped. They should be searched. The bikes are, motor vehicles, and they should be seized from them, taken off them. I don't understand why policing's not being more robust about this.
Can I ask you, please, David, about this? I describe it as propaganda. We've had this conversation online and on the news over the past week or two about levels of crime, how safe is Britain lawless? And there seems to be this coordinated response, particularly from people on the left, saying, you guys are mad. This is some right-wing fantasy of lawless Britain. London particularly is fine. People making videos of themselves eating lunch in their very posh London neighbourhoods saying everything's fine, it's safe. Is there some sort of concerted effort to kind of gaslight people into believing that, let's talk about London, that London is absolutely fine?
They need to come out. I'm more than happy to take them out any day of the week with our bobbies and they can see for themselves what's really going on. The reality is that it has got progressively worse. As policing has retreated from the streets, you are seeing more and more lawlessness. You're not getting crimes reported. Shoplifting is massively underreported. Fraud's massively underreported. People do report their phones stolen because clearly they claim off the insurance. But the reality of this is things are becoming more violent and it's an utter nonsense for anyone to say otherwise. That's a fact.
OK, I'm going to bring in Peter Bleksley, also a former Scotland Yard detective. Maybe you know, maybe you don't, former colleague anyway. Peter.
David, I've always got a warm greeting for your bobbies when I see them, particularly around Leicester Square and the such like. And I know that they're interacting with the Metropolitan Police on a daily basis. What's your take on how the Metropolitan Police is performing in London today?
Peter, I think you think the same way as I do. Policing is in crisis. You've got a recruitment problem, a retention problem. You're losing experienced people. I mean, I talk to police officers day in, day out. They live in fear of getting complaints. They won't stop and search people. They won't arrest people. And you feel sorry for them because they are run ragged, literally run ragged. You call them, sometimes they'll turn up. Most times they won't. It depends on where you are and it depends on the teams that are involved as well. But as you've seen, the Commissioner's come forward and said he's going to put 80 more policemen into the West End and apparently the flying squad, which is quite a surprise. But that highlights the level at which crime is now taking place in London.
OK, David, thanks very much for your time. Did you get your phone back, or did the guy get caught? Silly question.
He never got my phone.
Oh, you never got it? Oh, sorry, you kept hold of it, didn't you? Well done. Sadly, most people don't have your grip strength, so they end up losing their phones. And but glad to hear you're OK anyway, David. Thanks very much for your company tonight.
No problem. Thank you.
And just as an addition to that, very quickly, Katie Bourne, the Sussex Police and Crime Commissioner, told the Daily Telegraph today that there's no point arresting shoplifters because the courts just set them free. So that's the kind of path we're going down now. To Ben Leo tonight. Now, great story coming up. An 18-year-old A-level student says some of her friends won't talk to her anymore because she's a Reform UK counsellor. Sienna Churcher was elected to Barrow Town Council in May, and she's one of the youngest councillors in the UK, and I'm delighted to say she joins me now on Ben Leo tonight. Sienna, welcome along.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for your company. I've included the gang here as well, the panel. Just tell me, please, your friends, how many friends stopped speaking to you? Why, and how did it make you feel? I just find it astonishing.
I had a group of friends in college, and I've not heard anything from them since.
So how long's that been? A year?
No, I'm still in college now, studying A-levels, and they just haven't spoken to me since I told them that I'm standing for reform, so a few months now.
So not even since you won, it was since you told them you were simply standing to be a councillor.
Exactly.
And you are, of course, one of the youngest councillors in the UK now. So no text from your college pals saying, well done, Sienna, great job?
Not one.
No. Do you think it must be to do with your political beliefs, no?
Yes.
Yeah.
They're very much Labour.
What do you think of those people? Are they friends, really, if they treat you like that?
No, not at all. At the end of the day, I knew they believed in Labour, and I didn't have a problem with that. They've got, they're entitled to their own opinion. So why do they have a problem with me?
Yeah, you can accept their political beliefs, you've got no problem with it, it's not that deep, and you keep your friendship. Why reform them? Because it is quite rare for, say, without trying to patronise you, but the sort of stereotype is that you start in politics as a youngster, maybe a bit of a commie, Paul, and then as you grow older and you have a family and you have things to conserve, you maybe become a bit more right-wing. How did you get involved in reform so young?
Well, it originally started with my grandfather. He has followed Nigel Farage all the way from the start, and he introduced me to politics. So I started listening to him, and as I studied politics at A-levels, I read upon the history of political parties. Conservatives don't seem to do anything. Labour seems to just avoid and do U-turns, and Reform is the only one that is standing up for the working class and for us.
What do you make of that, Paul? A young girl, a very bright girl like Sienna, getting involved in politics and having that assessment of Labour?
I think it's really great that young people get involved in politics across all the different political parties. Those friends, so-called, that deserted you are not really your friends. And what you'll discover as you go through your career in politics, and I advise you to stick with it, by the way, is that you could be on friendly terms with people, you can have banter, you can have conversations, even proper friendships and relationships with people who agree and disagree with you on all kinds of issues. And that's the true strength of it. You be true to yourself, and that becomes something people are attracted to. But I've got friends who are Conservatives, who are Liberals, who are Greens, and all the rest,
I think that comes with age and with experience. And how old are you? Do you mind?
I'm 18.
18. So I think that 18-year-olds, the trouble is these friendships haven't really evolved, and they're very linear. They are very black and white. Just tell me, you're at college at the moment,
yes,
you said?
That's right.
And are they in your class at college?
Yes.
And so you literally go into the classroom and those friends won't acknowledge you in the classroom. I mean, that is extraordinary.
That's awful.
That's really bad. Why aren't the college authorities or the teacher or anyone else calling that sort of behaviour out? Because it's appalling.
Does it upset you?
No.
No. Just water off
Well, good for you.
Yeah, well done you. Well, Sienna, lots of viewers are watching you now. They're writing in as we speak. Lisa said, well done, Sienna. Proud of you. Rod Lay has said, Sienna, well done to you. Mike said, not surprised she's lost friends. She's one of the few that have escaped the state indoctrination system that is the education system. Keep doing what you're doing, Sienna. Stay true to your beliefs. And Wendy said, well done to that young lady. What a fabulous achievement to become a councillor aged 18. Very quickly, you've got 20 seconds. What's your political ambitions? What is in the future? Do you want to stay in politics?
Yes, absolutely. I want to pursue a career in politics. I want to represent everyone from my town, the hard-working people, and they deserve to be acknowledged and supported by this government.
Sienna, well done. Thank you for coming in. Really appreciate it. And